So, how is everyone doing tonight? Sorry, forgot to tie up my hair. So we are going to have a fun night cooking this evening. Yes, you should be getting your HelloFresh boxes later this week, so you'll be able to try everything that we have tonight. And the 3 meals that we have tonight are white bean and turkey chili. Some of you will say it's not a real chili because it doesn't have tomatoes in it, but you need to try it. It's wonderful. It's my favorite of the 3. Beef bibimbap with carrots and zucchini ribbons. That's table number 2. And sauteed shrimp and okra over cheddar grits. If you don't think you like okra, try it. You like okra. I'm telling you right now. You have to have okra cooked right. And I do not like battered okra very much. I like it better now just because I have grown to like it after liking fresh okra that I've grown in my yard. So we're going to start off with our little lesson for the day. And I have already started with the wine because I am not cooking tonight. You guys are. So, but once you guys are done chopping, I'll get out wine for everybody. We have a really nice white that's called Flyby. And then we have a really nice red Merlot called Le Concierge. Yeah, so they're both delicious. You can take your pick. You can try both if you want. We've got a long evening, so. All right, so let's talk about leafy greens. None of us eat enough leafy greens. The thing I have told people who I know who are dieting, you need to add more leafy greens. If you add more fruits and vegetables to your diet, it really does crowd out other things. And I'm not saying that you have broccoli covered with cheese or that you consider spaghetti sauce a vegetable. I'm talking about real vegetables that either you have cut and put in without a lot of sauce, or just honestly, you can learn to love frozen vegetables that you add a little bit of coconut oil and a little bit of salt to. It will fill you up enough that you hopefully won't eat a lot of the other junk. These are great recipes for adding vegetables in that you might not have tried. So let's talk about leafy greens, one of the most important vegetables. What makes leafy greens such a superfood? Well, to begin with, leafy greens have some of the highest concentrations of vitamins and minerals to protect and heal the body. They also contain a wide array of beneficial substances, including proactive antioxidants, helping you to build stronger muscles, tissues, hair, and nails. Plus, their high fiber content aids in digestive health. The nutrients found in leafy greens provide a host of health benefits that can protect you against disease and actually help you live longer. In fact, studies continually confirm that populations that eat a diet high in green leafy vegetables run a far lower risk of heart disease and cancer. In addition, leafy greens contain high levels of chlorophyll, which helps to detoxify the lymph and blood and liver. Sorry, I'm parched. Both spinach and Swiss chard belong to the, I'm never going to be able to say this, Amaranthacea chenopodiaceae. I used to be able to say it in school, but not anymore. Family. Both kale and bok choy belong to the Brassica family. Why eat it? Kale. 1 cup raw is 33 calories. 684% of our daily recommended vitamin K. 134% of our recommended vitamin C, especially this time of year when vitamin C is one of the few things that's proven that helps prevent getting colds. It doesn't help once you have them, but it does help as a preventative. And 133% of our recommended vitamin A. Swiss chard, 1 cup raw, 7 calories for a cup. 374% of our daily recommended vitamin K, 44% of recommended vitamin A. Swiss chard contains 13 different antioxidants, one of which has been shown to help control blood sugar levels, making Swiss chard a great green for diabetics. Spinach, 1 cup raw, and you can get frozen spinach real easily, and I like frozen spinach quite a lot, and throw some garlic in and fry it up. It's delicious. 7 calories, 181% of our daily recommended vitamin K, 56% daily recommended vitamin A, and I know it has a lot of iron too, which I sometimes crave iron. So, bibimbap choy, 1 cup raw, 9 calories. I love bibimbap choy. 62% of our daily recommended vitamin A, 52% of our recommended vitamin C, and 40% of our recommended vitamin K. So you can see from this why kale is being added to everything, because it is crazy good for you. So like you'll see a lot of smoothies that have kale in it, and it's just because it's amazing how much vitamin K, vitamin C, vitamin A. It's just really a wonder food. Swiss chard can also come in white, red, or yellow colors. In Chinese, bok choy means white vegetable. Until its surge in popularity in 2013, the largest consumer of kale in the U.S. was Pizza Hut. They used this leafy green to decorate their salad bars. Oh my gosh, so nobody ate it. I love kale soup. I make a really great kale soup with udon, and I made it the other day with, it's called for just ground pork, but I used sausage, ground sausage meat. So good. In 1930, U.S. spinach growers credited Popeye with a 33% increase in domestic spinach consumption. I'm going to move a little bit closer to you guys. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm just going to, sorry if that was loud, I'm just going to move a little bit closer to you so that you can hear the recipe as well. Okay. So you guys ready? Move some things out of the way. Sorry, I'm a little bit flushed. I'd have to admit, I started drinking the wine a little bit before you got here. So let's start off with the chili. So chili doesn't always entail kidney beans. This one does not. I am not a big chili fan, if I'm honest with you, but this I absolutely love. So if you know somebody who doesn't really like chili, but you want to have a chili type meal, this might be a good one. Might be good for kids who don't really like chili and don't like real spicy. I kept this one without much jalapeno too, and my son even ate it. We've made this one with creamy white beans and added onion, garlic, and a touch of jalapeno for some heat. Finish with a dollop of sour cream to cool it down and add creamy richness. So this has ground turkey, cannellini beans, cannellini beans, I always say that wrong, jalapeno, onions, garlic, stock concentrate, cumin, scallions, sour cream, cornmeal. The cornmeal that will surprise you. It's really good. Rosemary and olive oil. Also, anything with a fresh sprig of rosemary, your house is going to smell great. So it's got 592 calories for one serving. These are all, these recipes that you'll get at home are 2 servings. We have obviously larger portions here because we're all going to eat. So 50 grams of carbohydrates, 26 grams of fat, 48 grams of protein, and 15 grams of fiber. So you're going to peel and finely chop the onion, mince the garlic, finely chop the jalapeno, remove the seeds if you don't want too much heat. So again, we'll have you ask around and see what heat tolerance our room has tonight. Thinly slice the scallions. Strip the leaves off the rosemary sprig and finely chop. Drain and rinse the beans. And then you're allowed to drink. Heat 1 tablespoon of olive oil in a pot over medium heat. Add onion and the jalapeno to taste. Careful, jalapeno can be spicy. So season with salt and pepper and cook for 5 minutes till softened. Then add the cumin and garlic. Cook for another 30 seconds until fragrant. You'll be able to smell it. And add the turkey and rosemary. Cook, breaking up the pieces of turkey until it's no longer pink. Add the stock concentrate, cannellini beans, and 3 cups of water. Season with a pinch of salt and pepper. I don't add a lot of salt. I love salt, and so I often oversalt things. So I tend not to add salt if I'm using stock, because I find stock to be salty to begin with. But I did add pepper. I added pepper and very little jalapeno, and then I had some jalapeno on the side that my husband and I added to our meal, and then my son could have it without. And cook for about 10 minutes. Sprinkle 2 tablespoons of cornmeal over the liquid. Stir to combine. Let it simmer and stir occasionally for 5 minutes until thickened. It's the cornmeal that really makes it. It really made it for me. Again, I'm not a big chili fan. I absolutely love this. Then put a dollop of sour cream and sprinkle scallions on top, and that's what my son really liked. He liked having the sour cream on top to mix in. So that is number 1 for table number 1. The next is the beef bibimbap with carrots and zucchini ribbons. So this is fun to make. Kids like it too because they like the way the carrots and the zucchini look. It's a bit, if you're making it for a lot of people, it's a bit labor intensive. I'm warning you, table 2. So you may want to have like one person take the carrots and one person take the zucchini, because it does take a little while to use the peeler to cut the carrots and the zucchini, I find. So who knew this classic Korean dish is easy to make at home? A medley of sautéed veggies and tender marinated steak are served with nutty brown rice. Add a fried egg if you've got one on hand. The fried egg is a necessity, so you've got eggs on your table. So this is sirloin steak, mushrooms, soy sauce, white wine vinegar, scallions, garlic, ginger, brown rice, zucchini, carrot, sesame seeds, sriracha, which is hot sauce, sugar, eggs, and olive oil. 690 calories for a serving, 77 grams of carbohydrates, 19 grams of fat, 49 grams of protein, and 6 grams of fiber. So you're going to bring a pot of water to boil with a large pinch of salt and add your rice. Again, I used my rice cooker at home, but if making it on the counter, you're going to cook for 15 to 20 minutes. Once the rice is tender, drain any excess water and return to the pot. So the way they have you do it, they actually have you add excess water, and then you can't burn it. You're just going to pour off the water. So set aside covered until the rest of the meal is ready, which is actually kind of ingenious, because one of the reasons I have a rice cooker is because I notoriously burn rice on the stove. So you're going to peel the carrot and then cut the scallions in half lengthwise. So, and then thinly slice lengthwise. Okay. Slice the mushrooms, peel the ginger, and mince it with the garlic, and then use the peeler. So you're going to use the peeler to slice the carrot and the zucchini, rotating as necessary near the core. So the very center of the zucchini you probably won't be able to grate, because it's just got too much seed. It's got too many seeds. So just do as far as you can. Combine soy sauce, sugar, garlic, and ginger in a bowl. Thinly slice the steak against the grain and marinate it for 10 minutes in the fridge. In another bowl, quickly pickle the scallions by marinating them with the vinegar and a pinch of salt. And I'll be honest, I didn't really like the pickled scallions because I don't like raw scallions or raw onions, and the pickling wasn't enough for me. My husband loved it though. So you guys try it, see what you think. Meanwhile, heat half a tablespoon of olive oil in a nonstick pan over medium heat. Add the carrots and season with salt and pepper. Cook, tossing for 45 minutes until crisp tender. Set aside and add zucchini to the pan and cook until tender. Set aside, add another half a tablespoon of oil, and then add the mushrooms to the pan and cook for about 4 minutes, tossing until golden brown. Season with salt and pepper and then set aside. Heat another half tablespoon of olive oil in the pan over medium-high heat. Remove the steak from the marinade, reserving the marinade, and sear the slices for about 20 seconds per side until brown. So here's the trick I found with bibimbap. So you see that bottom, okay, so this one where my finger is. See that picture of the steak? It is very tempting to dump all of your steak into the frying pan, and it just doesn't get cooked well that way. It may get cooked enough, but you really want the searing on each side. So what I do is I use tongs, and you want a good space in between each of your steak, and you're going to do it in like 2 rounds. Here you're going to do it in more because we've got a lot more steak. And you just use your tongs and you flip it over, and you get a nice sear on both sides. Instead of just doing it kind of stir-fry style where you would dump the whole thing in and just kind of keep moving it around, it's nice to get, just that sear on each side. Then you're going to set it aside. Repeat until all the meat is cooked, being careful not to overcrowd the pan. If you have eggs handy, this would be the time to cook 2 sunny side up eggs. So yeah, the eggs on the top really just make it for me because I love eggs. Pour the marinade into the pan and cook for a minute or 2 until thickened. Then you're going to serve the rice. So you're going to have separate bowls of everything, and each person will come through, and that's kind of the fun part, and that's kind of the part like kids like a little bit. So they come through, and you take your rice, and then you take your steak, and you take your zucchini, and you take your carrots, and they're each in separate bowls. You take your mushrooms, and if a kid doesn't like my son doesn't like, there are certain vegetables he really likes and certain vegetables he hates. So he loves mushrooms. So and he doesn't like rice very much. So he pretty much had this with steak and mushrooms, and that's it. And he was very happy. Then you take the pickled scallions out from the vinegar and place a little bit on top. Sprinkle with sesame seeds. Put your egg right on top so that when you cut the sunny side up egg, it's just going to run all over the rice. It's delicious. Then you're going to put some marinade on top and sriracha if you want it hotter. So it's a fun thing to make, again, for people who love bibimbap. It is nice to know you can make it at home. Personally, I find it kind of labor intensive. But again, this isn't going to take you that long. I just don't, chopping is my least favorite part of cooking. So, and it's a lot of that. But the actual cooking part's pretty quick. So we'll see how you like it, everybody. It'll be a fun one to put together at the end. So the last table has sautéed shrimp and okra over cheddar grits. Take a trip down south with a classic dish. Slowly stewed okra and tomatoes with juicy shrimp are served over creamy cheddar grits. We added a pinch of chili flakes for some southern kick. This was another one my son loved because he loves shrimp. So I don't think he ate much of the vegetables, but he really liked the shrimp. This is shrimp, okra, tomatoes, chili flakes, garlic, parsley, grits, milk, cheddar cheese, and olive oil. This is 627 calories, 53 grams of carbohydrates, 27 grams of fat, 46 grams of protein, 7 grams of fiber. The other thing is, the calorie count for those of you who are watching your weight, it may seem a little high, but you know what it is. So if you don't want that high, take a third rather than a half is usually all I take anyway. So we usually have 2 adults, a child who doesn't eat very much, And we usually have enough leftovers for at least one lunch the next day. So as long as you're not actually taking half, this is for half. So you're not going to be taking half. If, at least I'm not. My husband sometimes will eat a half, but even he won't usually, because we're usually sharing with my son. So in a small pot, bring 1.5 cups of water and 1/2 cup of milk and a pinch of salt to boil. Once boiling, slowly whisk in the grits. Stir continuously until grits are well mixed. Return to a boil, reduce the heat to low, and simmer covered for about 25 to 30 minutes. Stir grits occasionally, adding more water if necessary. If you don't think you like grits, try cheese grits. Cheese grits are a different story. Meanwhile, remove the tops from the okra and then quarter lengthwise. Finely chop the parsley and mince the garlic. So you guys don't have a lot of chopping. You can get to your wine pretty quickly. Heat 1 tablespoon of olive oil in a cast iron skillet or non-stick skillet. This is a really nice way to cook okra. So you just kind of cut it into quarters. And the trick with okra is not to overcook it. You overcook it, it becomes slimy and gross. But if you cook it correctly, it's delicious. So you're going to sear for 4 to 5 minutes until lightly browned. Season with salt and pepper. Add the garlic. Cook for another 30 seconds until fragrant. Then set aside. Don't cook it anymore. Then you're going to add in your tomatoes to the pan and cook medium-high heat for about 3 minutes till they start to burst, and then set those aside with the okra. Then you're going to cook your shrimp. So you're going to add more olive oil to the pan, and over medium heat you're going to season the shrimp with salt and pepper and chili flakes if you want. We didn't use chili flakes again because we have a 4-year-old. Add shrimp to the pan and cook for 2 to 3 minutes until just pink and opaque. Then, so you're not going to cook it fully, just the minute it turns pink. Then you're going to dump in the okra and the tomatoes to the pan and just basically warm it. Season with salt, pepper, and parsley. So then you're going to plate by adding cheddar to the grits and stirring to combine. Then serve that with the shrimp, the okra, and the tomatoes on top. And just all mixed together. Delicious, delicious, delicious. So I'm going to come around and see if there are any questions. You guys can get started, and then I'll come around with wine once you guys are done chopping. Sound good? Okay. I am looking forward to it. All right. I will come around in a second.